Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about a couple of things that I've missed over the last couple of weeks here that I wasn't really talking about The Walking Dead. There's actually some really cool news here. There's some stuff with Robert Kirkman. There's actually something with The Ones Who Live that I found really cool. So I do want to talk about that. And I also do want to talk about, I guess, something also related to The Ones Who Live. And I'll talk about that near the end of the video. So I guess this video is going to be very much about what Robert Kirkman had to say about The Walking Dead in general. And I guess a big focus on The Ones Who Live. So yeah, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. But I guess we'll start off with the Robert Kirkman stuff here when it comes to The Walking Dead. And then after that, we'll get into, some of the Ones Who Live stuff and all of that. So I saw this here in an article from Collider, and I'll leave a link down below if you do want to check out the article. Really amazing article here. It actually gets into a lot of what Robert Kirkman was talking about in terms of the show becoming very popular and some of the behind the scenes stuff from back in the day. And so according to Collider here, and again, I'll leave a link down below to the article, definitely go check out the whole thing here, but he does say, look, the honest truth is that Frank Darabont got The Walking Dead made. If Frank Darabont doesn't go into House of Secrets in Burbank and somebody recommends him a Walking Dead comic, I'm not sitting here right now. So I wasn't in a lot of those meetings. I made a lot of decisions, and there's some behind the scenes stuff that I probably can't get into, but a lot of those calls were me and my manager trying to navigate the waters of AMC and what they had promised Darabont, what was going on with that. So I have a lot of visibility into the early days of production on that show, and I will only tell those stories in private. So really interesting because, it's kind of funny when you think about Robert Kirkman's point of view on The Walking Dead getting made back in the day, because like HBO and AMC, like they were really, I know there were other networks as well, but they didn't really like the story. They said that the story was way too dark and all of that. So, HBO and AMC, it seemed like they were really the two front runners, I would say, to, I guess owning the rights for The Walking Dead. And so what Robert Kirkman actually had to say about that was that I was able to avoid that because Walking Dead was a very desired project, and there was kind of a bidding war between HBO and AMC that was happening. And because of that bidding war, AMC and HBO kind of got into a competition of, we'll give Robert this. No, we'll give Robert this. No, we'll give Robert this. No, we'll give Robert this. And we just kept going. Well, HBO gave us this. And then AMC would go, all right. And then to HBO, we'd be like, AMC gave us this. And HBO would go, all right. And basically what he says later on here, and I'll just sort of sum it up. There's a whole other quote here where he gets into a lot of stuff. But basically, a lot of that, I guess, wanting of, The Walking Dead property back then basically led to Robert Kirkman actually having a lot more say in what happened with The Walking Dead, like on the television show, because he became like an EP, right? Like an executive producer. And so he was actually able to work with everybody on casting decisions and everything. He was able to be in the writer's room and stuff. And so that honestly is really incredible, because I think that was really what added to The Walking Dead. And I will say that's almost something that's kind of missing lately. Like, I know that The Walking Dead isn't necessarily like, like they can do stories without Robert Kirkman for sure, but Robert Kirkman did add something to the story, like the original series, like when he was there. And I don't know what season it was when he just wasn't there anymore. Like at some point I felt like he wasn't really there, maybe when all that drama was happening, season 9, I remember with Andrew Lincoln, when he was leaving, he was there like talking about all that. Like I would see him at Comic-Con and stuff, but after that wasn't really there anymore, and I think maybe that's when all that drama started. I don't know, but honestly, I think that having Robert Kirkman around does help out quite a bit, because it just adds that comic aspect to it. But I will say that's sort of the thing with the spinoffs now too, is like we're not even really in comic book material anymore. So it's kind of hard to really do any of that, to be honest, because I don't know like where else you could really go. Like, Scott Gimple knows the characters really well. The actors know the characters. Like that's a big one, right? Like the actors know their characters really well. And so if something's a little bit off, they can be like, well, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. So, I look at it overall like, well, I think that Robert Kirkman being involved in The Walking Dead like he was just something that I do miss. And if anything, I'm really just wanting The Walking Dead comics to return at some point. It might take a couple of more years, just some sort of story, even if he did something else in terms of like a one-off comic thing, right? Like The Walking Dead has been pretty quiet in terms of comics. I know they're doing like the Clementine stuff, but that stuff's not the best. And I've heard that if you're a fan of Clementine and that story, that this story here just doesn't really feel like the character at all. So I don't know. I haven't actually checked it out at all, so I really have no idea. But no, I would just really like even like a shorter series, like, you know, do 50 issues overall. You don't have to do up to 200 issues where it takes forever. Just do like 50 issues on something, right? And I think that would be really incredible. I think a lot of people would love that. So we'll have to wait and see. But Robert Kirkman talking about The Walking Dead lately, honestly, like as soon as I saw that, I was like, I have to talk about it because, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, he really did a lot for The Walking Dead, and I want him to be a lot more involved in future projects. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, where things go with all of that. But I do want to get into this right here. And so actually, before we get into this one thing with The Ones Who Live, let's get into this thing here. So McFarlane actually released, and I missed this was probably a couple of weeks ago, but McFarlane actually released a, I guess, preview of what the Rick Grimes, like CRM Rick Grimes, is going to actually look like here. It's coming out in June 2025, and so first of all, just looking at what it looks like, I mean, absolutely amazing. Honestly, just looks really, really great. Like, this looks exactly like Rick Grimes, like it really does. And also the outfit, this one right here, like with the mask on, is really amazing. So you can actually put the mask on, which is so cool, and he's standing on like this platform that says The Ones Who Live. Like, I think that's such a nice touch to the whole thing here. So yeah, like I'm gonna get this as soon as it actually comes out. Definitely, I will be getting this. It just honestly looks really incredible, and I think that you know, the fact that AMC actually made a bunch of deals again with McFarlane, and there were some other deals that they made too. And so yeah, I'm excited because there's a lot of stuff likely coming out here very soon, or at least in the next year. There's actually some stuff with Dead City and Daryl Dixon as well, and I do think there were the smaller figures, right, for the CRM, like with Rick and all of that from The Ones Who Live, I believe coming out at some point soon, or maybe that was like spring next year. I don't remember the exact release date, but it's pretty cool to be seeing all this here. You know, I think that AMC like really committing to The Walking Dead, you know, like a year or two ago, like when they announced all the spinoffs, or not announcing, but once they started airing, there was all of these deals happening where they were like, all right, we're going to make a lot more merchandise and stuff like that, because they stopped for a long time. And so obviously it's been kind of quiet in terms of that, because I think they've been sort of, you know, working on that. But over the next year here, we're going to see a lot of that stuff coming out. And I mean, yeah, a lot of stores you go to, you'll probably just sort of see a lot of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live and stuff like that there. And that's also marketing as well, right? Like doing all of that is marketing the show. So really incredible to see here. And I also want to talk about this here from The Ones Who Live. So a lot of people were talking about, you know, like the favorite moment of the year. And I'm not going to spoil what my favorite moment of the year, because I'm going to be doing a top 10 best moments of The Walking Dead just throughout this year, and a worst moment thing. So I will talk about that. And I think what I'm going to do is, it's not necessarily going to be like maybe I'll do a top 5 best episodes and top 5 worst episodes or something like that, just because I'm trying to look at like what we got, right? And we got 2 shows that were 6 episodes each. And so it's kind of hard to do any more than 5, right? Like I would have to do 5 episodes from both shows. So picking 5 out of 12 episodes, you know, that I really, really liked. And then 5 of those 12 episodes that I didn't like, and sort of rank them. So maybe I'll do that. I'll do a top 5 for those. And then I'll do top 10 like moments, you know, like just moments from both shows that I really, really liked. And then 10, I guess, worst moments that I just did not like, you know, and that'd be fun. But according to, I guess, what they're saying right here, it looks like the moment that everyone is saying was like the best moment, you know, I guess, of the year was the reunion. It was seeing Rick and Michonne back together for the first time in a very, very long time. Now, I will say, personally for me, that's not my number 1, but I'll just sort of give a spoiler and say it is up there because it was a really incredible moment. But I think when I first watched it, I was a little surprised that it happened so fast. And also seeing Rick and Michonne together just beforehand, in terms of like the whole dream sequence thing, kind of ruined a little bit of the reveal here, because we saw them together, right? Like if we didn't see that ever, and this was the first time we were seeing them together, then yeah, I'd be like, whoa, this is absolutely insane, right? But we actually saw them just before that. So it's up there for me for sure, but it's not my number 1 moment. I do have a number 1 moment that would be, I guess, kind of surprising, but also kind of, I think, makes sense. I really do want to know what everyone else's top 5s are and like top 10s and all of that, because like definitely when I do those videos, which are going to be starting tomorrow, like do your top 5s and your top 10s. Like I think tomorrow I'll do my favorite like episodes, and the next day I'll do like my favorite moments or whatever. So yeah, unless this is coming out on the 30th. Now I'm thinking about this is probably coming out on the 30th. So on the 30th, you're probably going to get like 3 videos, I guess, and then 2 videos the next day. Something like that anyways. And then January 1st, I'll do a video on what to expect this year and sort of the hype building to Dead City Season 2, because once we get into January, they're going to start promoting that show quite a bit, right? Like, it's been quiet for a while, so yeah, a lot to look forward to with that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here though. Definitely post all your thoughts down below, and thank you guys all for the really nice comments and everything just regarding, you know, why I wasn't posting videos for the last however long. Honestly, really amazing. It was really cool to see all the support from you guys, and I do appreciate that like a lot. Like, it really does make a big difference just in terms of like how I'm feeling and stuff every single day, and it's just cool to see. It's honestly really cool to see. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here, so definitely post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.